This is class 10 CBSE Civics Chapter 2 Federalism Part 3.
In this video we are going to learn about that how is federalism practiced in India. Actually they given here three major ways how we are practicing federalism in India. That is first one is linguistic states, second one is language policy, and third one is center state relations. In this video we are going to learn about that first two, that is linguistic states and language policy. Constitutional provisions are necessary for the success of federalism. Yes, constitutional provisions, constitutional policies is necessary, but these are not sufficient. So constitution provisions alone is not enough. It's not sufficient for the success of the federalism. If the federal experiment has succeeded in India, it is not merely because of the clearly laid out constitutional provisions. So federalism experiment has succeeded in India. It is not merely, that is, it is not only the based on the constitutional provisions, it's apart from that. The real success of federalism in India can be attributed to the nature of democratic politics in our country. This is important. So federalism success is not only with that constitutional provisions, it also with the nature of democratic politics in our country. This ensured that the spirit of federalism, respect for diversity and desire for living together became shared ideals in our country. So this democratic politics is ensured, completely ensured the spirit of federalism, that is especially for the relations between that each and every level of government, that is different levels of government. The next one is desire for living together. They all wish to live in that particular country together and became shared ideals in our country. These are the three things ensured that success of the federalism. Let us look at some of the major ways in which this happened. First one, linguistic states. Linguistic means language. The states divided on the basis of language. The creation of linguistic states was the first and a major test for democratic politics in our country. If you look at the political map of India, when it began its journey as a democracy in 1947 and that of 2017. So you can have a look in your book, which is provided in that page number 18, that is the map of during 1947. Then in page number 19, that is the map of India in 2017. You can see the vast difference in that area wise. You will be surprised by the extent of the changes in that map. Many old states have vanished and many new states have been created. You can see that area size also is reduced and even many names also changed. Areas, boundaries and names of the states have been changed. In 1947, the boundaries of several old states of India were changed in order to create new states. This was done to ensure that people who spoke the same language lived in the same state. So they decided to divide the states on the basis of language. So this is done and then ensure that particular area peoples who spoke the same language lived in that same state. That area they divided. They formed the boundaries. Some states were created not on the basis of language. So majority of states formed on the basis of language. Some states are created not on the basis of language but to recognize differences based on the culture, ethnicity or geography. So based on these three aspects they divided the states. Example for these states are states like Nagaland, Uttarakhand and Jharkhand. So three states, Nagaland, Uttarakhand and Jharkhand. This is the map on 2017. You can see that. When the demand for the formation of states on the basis of language was raised, some national leaders feared that would lead to the disintegration of the country. Yes, many persons they become feared and scared of this type of formation of states, especially based on the language, because it would lead to the disintegration of the country. That means it would split, they feared. The central government resisted linguistic states for some time. They stopped. They resisted. They also stopped or blocked this idea for some time. But the experience has shown that the formation of linguistic states has actually made the country. So we are all divided on the basis of language into many states, but even though it created more united, it has also made administrative easier in their own states. Next one is language policy. A second test for Indian Federation is the language policy. Our constitution did not give the status of national language to any one language. This is important. So, according to our constitution, it's not give any language a status of national language. Hindi was identified as the official language, but Hindi is the mother tongue for only about 40% of Indians. Therefore, there were many safeguards to protect other languages. So, 40% speakers are Hindi language. So, therefore, they want to safeguard other language also. So, besides Hindi, that is apart from Hindi, there are 21 other languages recognized as scheduled languages by the constitution. A candidate in an examination conducted for the central government positions, any examination conducted for the central government position may opt to take the examination in any of these languages. Any of these 22 languages they can opt for to take the examination. States too have their own official languages. Actually, the states divided, they formed on the basis of language only. Here the states too have their own official language. Like Tamil Nadu, Tamil, Karnataka, Kannada, then Kerala, Malayalam, likewise they have their state-wise official languages. Much of the government work takes place in the official language of the concerned state. So, majority of government work takes up that particular state official language. Unlike Sri Lanka, the leaders of our country adopted a very cautious attitude in spreading the use of Hindi. So, not like Sri Lanka, our Indian leaders, they adopted very careful measures, very cautious measures for the spreading the use of Hindi. According to the constitution, the use of English for official purposes was to stop in 1965. Important. So official purpose of the English, they stopped in 1965, but however many non-Hindi speaking states like Tamil Nadu demanded that the use of English should be continued. In Tamil Nadu, this movement, they oppose the Hindi movement, and also they want that English as the second language, took a violent form. So the central government responded by agreeing to continue the use of English along with Hindi for official purposes. So they agreed to continue the English but along with the Hindi for official purposes. Many critics think that the solution favored the English speaking elite. So those who are speaking English, that is this agreement is supporting that person, favor of that English speakers. Promotion of Hindi continues to be the official policy of the government of India. So promoting the Hindi is a continuous process of government of India. Promotion does not mean that the central government can impose Hindi on states where people speak a different language. It does not mean that they are not imposing that Hindi compulsory. This is not that thing. The flexibility shown by Indian political leaders helped our country avoid the kind of situation that Sri Lanka finds itself in. So our Indian political leaders, they are all flexible and then help the country to avoid to create the situation which is happened in Sri Lanka. Here some sources given here based on that language. See here, linguistic diversity of India. How many languages do we have in India? The answer depends on how one counts it. The latest information that we have is from the census. According to the 2011, the census recorded more than 1,300 distinct languages which people mentioned as their mother tongues. So in our India, almost more than 1,300 distinct languages are there. They mentioned their mother tongues. These languages were grouped together under some major languages. If we group some similar slang differences alone into a one group language, for example, like Bhojpuri, Magadhi, Bulandgandi, Chhattisgarhi, Rajasthani. These and all are similar to Hindi only, but slang alone slightly it difference. If we group these languages into one, and many others were grouped together under Hindi. So this one is a group. According to this, we are grouping this type of languages, means that 1,300 distinct languages, if we group into like this, according to the census, there are 121 major languages are there present in India. At present, according to 2011 census, if we group the 1,300 distinct languages like Hindi, how they grouped into one, we have that we found 121 major languages. Of these, 22 languages are now included in the 8th schedule of the Indian Constitution. So 22 languages is that entered into that 8th schedule, that is 8th planned according to our Constitution, and are therefore called, this one is known as scheduled languages, because these 22 languages are considered or accepted by that Indian Constitution and also given the status of official language. That's what this is known as scheduled languages. Other languages are called non-scheduled languages. In terms of languages, India is perhaps the most diverse country in the world. Yes, majority of languages are present in India. So that's what, according to that languages, India is considered as a most diverse country in the world. A look at the enclosed table which is present here in that right side makes it clear that no one language is the mother tongue of the majority of our population. So the largest language, Hindi, is the mother tongue of only 44% Indians. So 44% here. So Hindi here considered 44%. So 43.63, yes, it's obviously 44%. If we add to that all those who knew Hindi as their second or third language in our school time or in privately, if we learn Hindi, we know that Hindi as a second language or third language. If we group that person also speakers of Hindi language, means the total number was still less than 50%, even less than 50% according to the 2011 census. As for English, only 0.2% Indians recorded it as their mother tongue. That Anglo-Indians only having the English as the mother tongue, they only speaking the English as their mother tongue. So according to that, 0.02% Indians recorded it as their mother tongue. Another 11% knew it as a second or third language. Read this table carefully, but you need not memorize it, no need of it, just have a look on it. You can see here that proportion of speakers of different languages in India according to the percentage wise. So first language speakers, that is highest percentage, is Hindi speakers, 43.63%, that is 44%. Second one is Bengali, 8.03%. Third one is Marathi speakers, 6.86%. Fourth one is Telugu, 6.70. Then fifth one is Tamil, 5.70. So you can see that is given here. In Sanskrit they given here N, that means stands for negligible, because majority of persons is not, they are not speaking, that's what they are given as a negligible. In next video we will learn that the third major way, which is how we are practicing federalism in India, that is center state relations. Until then, thank you.